Ultimate Games Master.
For Games Masters, welcome to the complete toolkit of everything, including campaign and world builder, encounters, looting, handouts, questions, sound and lighting. Everything is homebrewable with online or offline play. Control the adventure, control it all, no matter where you are. For players, everything in one place for all your character needs. Store notes, quests, access your available compendiums, roll dice, interact with other players as well as the Games Master, and so much more. For spectators and streamers, connect your device to the game for an overview of what is happening in real time. Is that player almost dead? Has the druid wild shaped? Now you know exactly what is happening as well. And finally, take your streams to the next level by incorporating real-time character and campaign data into your live stream, all controlled from the comfort of your control panel. The UGM will be available on more devices than you can shake a stick at. Don't miss out, set your reminders as the Ultimate Games Master is kickstarting on July 27th. Visit theultimategamesmaster.com, any platform, any game, anywhere.
Would you like to know more? The Ultimate Games Master.
Hello, welcome to Band of Badgers. I am Dave, your host for this evening, and joining me as co-host is Steve. How you doing, Steve?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you very much.
It's just,
less sweaty than the other night.
It is less sweaty. It just every time I say Steve, it just reminds me of, was it Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs? Have you seen that?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Steve. We need a clip to come up, Steve, and then disappear again. We got to do that.
Yeah, we need one of them chat things that comes up.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Whatever they're called, an emote.
And now this is our live Q&A. It is live because look, I'm alive. But we have Justin HEASMAN. I don't know, it's the heat. Justin HEASMAN with us, who is of course the lead developer of the Ultimate Games Master, which is a new app coming to Kickstarter soon. I'll say soon, but it's next Tuesday because it's next Tuesday, the 27th of July, next week. Next Tuesday, literally next week. So hi Justin, how you doing?
I'm good. Back again. It's good to be back again.
Back again, yes. So
very hot. It's hotter than last time. It's just melting.
Yes, it's nice to have someone in the same time zone because we do talk to people all around the world promoting various different bits and pieces. Finally, we get someone in the UK. So yeah, and we're in the middle of a bit of a heat wave. So there is no breeze. It is really hot, and you know anything you've seen about the people who live in the UK in films or TV, it's all true. It's normally wet, cloudy, and damp. That's what we're used to. I wouldn't say that's what we like, but that's what we're used to.
That's what we're used to.
And when we get blue skies and sunshine, we don't do very well. So, but we'll do what we can with it. Anyway, it's good to have you back. And one of the things is, so check out our previous video because that was a kind of an overview of what the UGM is, the Ultimate Games Master. So specifically for today, we're going to look at a really, really powerful encounter, the encounter building features, which are built already into the UGM. So we're going to, as I said, we're going to focus on that, about how to create monsters, how to create encounters, how to make them balance, what you can do with them, how they die, how you put them in, how you can do it on the fly. So we're going to focus on that. But as always, if you have a question for Justin, basically keep asking questions and we'll keep talking. We're here for about an hour, but keep on coming to questions. And then here's the best bit: if you have a question that Justin says, that's a really good question, that's one of the best questions we had this evening, there is a prize. We are doing some giveaways tonight. Well, Justin's giving some giveaways, not us. We'll let Justin do them. So if you do have a question in live chat, this is Twitch only. That's what you get for missing out if you're watching on YouTube. But thank you very much for watching. Put them into live chat. Put question in capitals and then your question. And Steve, who's manning the desk, will see that question and take it and do something with it, and then we'll ask Justin when we can. However, if Justin actually does see a question that he quite likes, he can just shout it out. Okay, so we'll just keep the conversation going. We'll see how this ends. So,
yeah, I've got the chat window open, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that as well.
Yep.
We'll pick the best question and see what happens. But yeah, we love questions. Please ask questions. like answering them.
It says, Steve, where are you originally from?
About 15 miles from where I live now, just to South London.
South London.
Yeah,
South.
we haven't moved very far.
I was from West London.
There you go.
Whereabouts?
We're from Middlesex, sort of Hayes, around that area.
Yeah. I well, technically I work in Brentford, even though I'm not there at the moment. But I say it that way.
Yeah, when I mix with people from around my area, my accent changes. So I go a bit Cockney. Right, mate.
Steve,
how you doing, mate?
Right, Steve. What, just? How's it going, mate? Yeah. Got some
pretty good,
UGM for me.
Yeah, I got some UGM for you. Hit me up some UGM. Let's go.
See, this is what you get. This is when people are in the same time zone. This is what you get.
Yeah, the last person I spoke to was Mountain Time. And it's like 5-6 hours difference. I was like, it's like midnight. I was like, oh gosh. Having to answer questions at midnight, and I'm thinking, what's going on?
Cool. Right. So we're going to talk about making encounters. We're going to show off the Justin software. We're going to swap the scenes around. So Justin, it's kind of over to you if you want to take us in.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you've got any questions, Dave, shout out.
I will definitely shout them out.
So let's put my screen back on.
Yep.
Here we go. So we'll start here. This is the first screen you would kind of go into when you are a games master, and this is your different areas or different campaigns. As you see, I'm taking my crew through the Tyranny of Dragons at the moment, and they're on Rise of Tiamat. But today we're going to go into the Band of Badgers demo.
Ooh.
So we're going to go into there.
We have an official demo.
We do now, because I come here so often. I think, I better just create a game set for you. So we'll pick Hognar. And we'll pick, I've got a few duplicates in here from different game sets, but we'll pick Doug to come in as well. So they like being killed off. Actually, they're two of the hardest ones in our game at the moment. So, okay, that brings us through to here. And we're not going to go into the NPCs today. Although we could, actually, because we could bring an NPC in. So, as you see, I've got 2 NPCs in here. I'm going to ditch one of them. We'll get rid of Robert the Robber. Get rid of him, and we'll keep Fred the Strongman, and we might bring him in a bit later. So, campaign builder, campaign player. Mm-hmm. We're going to go into our demo chapter, and then we're going to go into the Badger's Lair.
I like it. I think this should now be part of the Kickstarter.
The Badger's Lair. Well, we added a Badger's Dagger last time, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah. Pete's in the live chat. He says, "Yeah, bring on the Badger Dagger.
Bring on the Badger Dagger."
That's when we stabbed somebody and it does cure wounds, wasn't
it? Yeah.
Take that. Oh,
I love it. So this brings you on to your area map. These can be changed really easily. I've just dumped this one in, which it was the one we were playing on. So I've created this. If we zoom in a little bit, not that much. We've got this pit here. So number 2 is the pit, and I've just created some basic information in this pit here. So we've got a little bit of an overview. The Band of Badgers fighting pit is where people go to sort out their troubles once and for all. And then you've got the story text, which is what you read out, which can be on an auto cue. Your party enter the Band of Badgers fighting pit. It is a dimly lit place where people go to fight out if they disagree with something. Also, you see here that there is some blood from a recent encounter. And you can click on the play button, and if it's a massive piece of text, it will scroll along and you can read it out.
That's nice.
And then we've got our big scene transition here, which we can push play on, and we get this, boom. Big bad badger lair. After months of seeking, you have entered the lair of the badgers. So that is kind of how I've just laid this simple area out. Now, we're talking today about the encounter system. So if you click on the book up here, you'll see there is a whole load of different elements that you can put into your areas. And that goes from things like sound, lighting, what we've done so far, the overview and the story text and stuff like that. So you got Sirenscape as well and things. What we'll do, we'll build this little area up, and then we'll go into the campaign, the encounter. So we'll add some music. Let's dump that up there, and the big bad music, and we will get that from our. Let's get from the starter mood pack, and we'll choose our end battle metal music, but we'll lower the volume a bit so that it doesn't blast us out. And that'll do for now. And actually, I want that to go below, so I'm going to click on that and move it below. So all this stuff can be reordered, which is great. Now I've got my big transition. I'm going to go into my big bad music, and then I want to fire up my encounter. So I just go and find the encounter element, which is one of the most used ones. So that is in the first little section here. So as I'm building up an area, I always use an overview or GM note. GM notes are if something that an overview is just an overview of the area. Like I said, it's the Badgers fighting pit, blah, blah, blah. A GM note, you can put in things like if there's anything in this area that you don't want the players to know, but you want to make a mental note of it. So you put it in there, like maybe some traps or something that you just want to keep track of. Then the story text is what I said, is what you would read out. And then we've got the encounter, experience, and loot elements before we have a break. And we're going to drag on an encounter. So drag that on. I'm going to put it under the music. And this is the big bad badger. There we go, bad badger. And you have a little description. Loads of people who don't like each other. There we go. So there we go. That's loads of people that don't like each other. And you can say, and will attack if you enter, whatever. Doesn't matter, because we're going on about building this encounter. So that's just a little description. You've got down the bottom here is the this is like the overall encounter loot. Okay, so we're going to go in there and we're going to add a single item. I'm going to add our. Oh no, I've not got it in this game set. Oh dear, that's terrible. We'll have to enter the Badger Dagger. For now, we'll leave that. We'll come back to that in a minute. We'll enter the Badger Dagger, and you can see how it all comes through. But that is your global encounter loot. So at the end of the encounter, whether you defeat them all or not, some of them might run away, this is what will always be dropped. Great. This can be random as well. You can randomize this. We will go into that later. So for a very simple drop, we'll just say, okay, this is going to be a single item and it's going to be a simple gold drop. We won't do any randomizing on it. It's going to be a single quantity of 50 gold. There we go. Easy. So that's how you build this up, and you can just add as much into there as you like and build it right up.
I have a quick question.
You do.
Do you have platinum and silver and bronze and everything else in there as well? Is it just gold? Okay, no, I'm just checking.
No, you can add what you like.
Detail.
So for Dave, we'll add a bit of platinum.
There you go.
So we'll add some platinum.
These are badgers after all. Yeah.
Of course, they hoard. There's no. They can have 2 bits of platinum.
Yeah.
And they will always. So these are guaranteed drops. They will always drop a 50 gold now, and they will always drop 2 platinum. So we save that. You can always go back to that by clicking on the treasure chest, and you can change that. Now, we want to add some monsters. So we're going to add, first of all, let's add a gladiator. And we'll add we'll add 1. We'll just add the 1 for now. And when you've got this listed here, you've got it in red. When it's in red, it means they're a bad guy. So what you could also do in here is add an NPC or even another monster and have them as either neutral or a friend. Mm-hmm. So you always see what allegiance they've got. which is really useful. But we're just going to have this gladiator for now. And we're going to go in and we're going to change the entry. And we are going to... we will keep it as it is, I think. We won't change any of that for now. But what we will do, we'll change his name and we'll call him Badger Leader. And we'll save that.
We've just
so now
had
when we go into the...
Sorry, Justin. We've just had Navy Phoenix, who's in chat. He's not asked a question, but you mentioned heavy metal badgers. And he's just posted a link of a cartoon of heavy metal badgers. So thank you, Navy Phoenix.
Thanks, Navy Phoenix. That's awesome. We like heavy metal badgers. That's always good. So what we've done, we've now created a gladiator, but we've named it. We don't want it to be an NPC, so we don't want to be bothered by going through and creating all the details for them. We could, but we're not going to bother this time. So this is a badger leader based on the stats of a gladiator. Great. So we won't add anything else for now, and we'll just save that by closing the door. And now we've got this big bad badger, loads of people who don't like each other and will attack you if you enter. Mm-hmm. And you click start, and we can auto roll for our two playing characters that we brought into here. And there we go. So Badger Leader rolled an 18, Doug rolled a 15, Hognar, as normal, rolls really rubbish because Hognar never rolls well. That's Stuart, and Malcolm is Doug. But yeah, Stuart's rolls is terrible, always is. Now we're in the encounter screen. This is our encounter tree. So on your left-hand side, this will always display a complete list of everybody in this encounter. So at the moment, it's nice and manageable. There's 3. We've got the Badger Leader, we've got Doug, and we've got Hognar.
Okay, so Doug and the other PC character were automatically added to the encounter because they exist within the campaign.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, because we brought them into the campaign at the beginning, and this, if you're playing a connected game, Steve, they would, it would bring in anybody else that is actually connected to your game. So you don't have to worry about who you're bringing in. It knows who's already in your game. Okay. And as you see, they come in green because they're goodies, which is always good for the visuals. So you already know bad guys, good guys.
Yep.
Now, on the top right-hand corner, you've got your round and your turn. And the one in brackets is an overall turn. So as you see, if we scroll down, we won't send a new one, but the round clocks up, your turn clocks up, and the one in brackets is the number of turns that have gone by in total. So we're now in round 3. It's turn 1 of round 3, but there's been 7 turns so far in this encounter. So we just go back to the beginning of all that. Back to round 1, turn 1. The top right-hand corner is always going to display whose turn it is. So at the moment, it's the Badger Leader. So it's going to always display that. You can't change what they display there because it's always going to show you what is actually whose turn it is. You can use the eye to drop in and see more of a breakdown on it. As you can see, it's the Badger Leader. And you can see also the original monster is based on the gladiator. So if you can't remember what you based it on, it's there for you, as well as all of the notes and everything you need to know about this encounter, about this particular bad guy. So, which is really useful. So you can close that. It goes back to that screen there. Now, if you want to click on anything else that you want to know any details of, it will appear always in your bottom right-hand corner. So if I click on Hognar, he will appear down the bottom. If I click on Doug, he will appear down the bottom. So it will always display down here who I'm clicking on. So if I know I want to attack, say, Doug, I can click Doug, and I've got everything I need to know about Doug there, including his role play notes and everything else. So I've got all of that details there. Again, you can click on the...
I have another item. We had a chat the other evening because we were just having a catch up. The bit I mentioned about we'll use code linking. The bit I mentioned about linking. Did you manage to have a think about that? Has that been kind of in your brain somewhere?
It's in my notepad.
Well
And
done. I made it to the notepad.
I know how it's going to be done.
Really?
You see,
You think
yeah,
it's
I
possible?
do. I've already worked it how I'm going to do it now. So
Wow.
what you would do, as I'm attacking, so let's say it's the Badger leader's turn. He's going to attack Doug. So he rolls and does an attack, and Doug loses some HP. Poor old Doug. So he's lost some hit points there. As he's been attacking Doug, on the bottom of the Badger leader, there's going to be a little section that has the last 4 attacks, or last 4, or depending on what's happened, it'll be the last interactions, the last 4 interactions. So that can be attacks against or you attacking, and they'll be color coded so you can then see and click on the ones that you've been attacking, or maybe click on the ones that have hit you so you can retaliate, which is quite cool.
That's a really nice, that's a nice solution. Well done.
And then you would click on it, and then that will automatically appear in this bottom right-hand corner. So you've got instant feedback on what you're clicking on. So that's, I've been thinking about that, and that's how it's going to be. So
like it.
Yeah,
okay.
It's there. You've made it in.
That's actually a very elegant solution as well. I wasn't even thinking about kind of historical feedback. So that's above and beyond the answer. Fantastic. Wow.
Ah, yeah. Okay. See, there we go. We aim to please at the Ultimate Games Master. So this is a very, very simple encounter. Like I say, he attacks. You've got the your attack stuff here. So he would roll some attacks. You would deduct your hit. Doug would either do it on his own tablet, or we can do it all from here. Likewise, goes to Doug's turn. He might be maybe attacking the Badger leader. He can do some rolls. So we'll just do a quick roll. We'll do a roll to attack, and we'll just do a quick. He rolled a 6. It's terrible. So he didn't hit. But if he was to hit, we would go in and we can do the same thing here. We'll just deduct some hit points, 25 off, and that would just clock down nicely there. Now this is the most simplest form of running an encounter. So you got the shield up here gives you the same access as if you were clicking over here on the hit points. So you can bring up the menu by either clicking the hit points here, which controls conditions and stuff as well, or allegiance. You can scroll down, drill down to as much as you like, or you can access it from clicking the shield up the top here. So it does the same thing, just depending on what you want to look at. Now,
I'm just going to interrupt again. Just for everyone in chat who's reading the bits and text, Big Tough Pete is also a member of the UGM, so that's why he's giving you some interesting information. So they've got conversations going on in chat as well. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, so there was a question about the baddie templates, and are they fully customizable as well? I think we probably get onto that a little bit later, don't we, when we're talking about scaling up encounters?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about UGM is everything is customizable. I mean, this screen isn't, because this screen is laid out and works as it is. Some of the graphics are going to change when we release. We've got a bit of tarting up to do with it to make it just a bit more visually pleasing, but the functionality of this screen will stay the same. But all the stuff that you would see here is all customizable for instance, whatever game you're running, because you might not be playing D&D, you might be playing Pathfinder, so some of the stuff might be different, or Starfinder or whatever. So it will all customize depending on what game set you're running.
Yeah.
But you got the cog in the middle, which gives you your settings. So we can go into the cog. And from here, you've got some cool stuff. So first of all, you've got your actual encounter settings. So these can be done on the fly, or you set these up because these are global. So once you set these, generally you don't need to go into these ever again. But I like to skip the bad guys. And sometimes I like to hide the dead guys if there's loads of them. Mm-hmm. I like to auto roll the bad guys. Sometimes if it's something in particular, you might want to roll initiative manually for them. But I generally like to just do it automatically, so we can enter the encounter and boom, we're there. Always re-roll ties, is if you've got a tie in the initiative. Sometimes some people like to re-roll them. Other people like to go, we've both tied, but we'll go on whoever's got the highest initiative. So it depends on how you play your game. But this is kind of how I like to roll it. You can add an NPC on the fly. Easy to do. Click NPC. We're going to add Fred the Strongman. We bring in Fred the Strongman. Ooh, I don't know what's going on there. Ooh. Save that. I think it's because I deleted one of them a minute ago. So let's go back in there. There's my badger leader. Yep, that's fine. So that's saved. Rejoin that. We'll try and add Fred the Strongman again. No, it's not adding Fred the Strongman. I don't know. There must be something wrong with him. Maybe because I just did a copy from another data set or something. But we will add him anyway. We'll add him a different way. So we'll add him to our actual encounter manually. So when we create our encounter to start with, like I said, we can add your bad guys in, or we can add NPCs in. So I'm going to reset that encounter now. I'm going to go back again, and we're going to build it up a bit more complicated. So let's see if we can add him in here. Might be something wrong with him. Yeah, there's something wrong with Fred. Oh, that's very sad. Poor old Fred.
Fred can't make it. Maybe they unplugged him.
They maybe unplugged him. I'm going to go somewhere different. I'm going to bring in Fred from a different game set, because I know that I've been playing around with Fred, and he might not be very well. So I'm going to go into designer on my normal game set. So that trusts me for trying to create a game set especially for something in particular. Always never goes well. We'll add in Doug again, and we'll add back in Hognar, because Hognar likes to die. We're going to our campaign player, demo chapter, demo cave, and we'll go back into here. Now this was one that I've been building up a while ago. So let's go back into our encounter. We will reset that. And then we'll go in. Okay, so this had kobolds. Let's get rid of them. Don't want kobolds because they are easy to kill and we don't need them. So let's get rid of the kobolds, and we'll head back in what we were doing. So add monster. We had a gladiator, and we called him a badger leader. And we'll add in our NPC. Let's see if Fred the Strongman wants to go. Yeah, there we go. There must be something wrong with Fred the Strongman in the other one. So we've got Fred the Strongman now. And we'll change his elite. He's going to be neutral. So he could go either way. He could be a good guy. He could be a bad guy. We'll see. And we did add some loot in as well. So let's add that loot back in, which was our gold, which was 50 gold. And we had a couple of bits of platinum.
Couple of bits of platinum. Let's not be shy.
We can't, can we? So we had the platinum in.
Don't be stingy now.
Yeah, we've got 2 bits. I mean, it's all good stuff. There we go. So we've got Fred the Strongman and a badger leader. And now, if we go in, let's roll that again. Let's get rid of this auto-generated loot. We don't want that. We don't need Fred the Strongman at the bar. We'll keep him at the bar. He likes the bar. So here we go. So let's re-roll this. And there we go. So we're in our encounter now. You can see we've got Fred the Strongman is a neutral kind of party. So he's in yellow. He could go either way. He could kill you. He could not. It depends on how he feels and how much he's had to drink at the bar, which is all cool. So that is adding an NPC. So we can add the NPC, or we can add another monster on the fly. So we can add a couple of, let's say, pick a baddie, humanoid. What do you reckon, Dave?
It's got to be goblins.
I was going to go Dragonborn.
A Dragonborn.
Dragonborn. You can have a goblin.
Oh,
you know.
A goblin. Goblins are easier. We'll have a goblin. What round? So this is, you can add them to any round. So they might come in at yes, we do have digital dice. Dragon's Fire. Yes, we do have digital dice, and I will explain how the digital dice work in a minute, because they're a bit interesting.
We've got another question leading up as well. We've got another question. Who was it, Steve? Was it Navy Phoenix?
It was Navy Phoenix. It's how will maps integrate into the database? How will they be used? So obviously we've seen the map there on the screen, and you've clicked on the fighting pit, and then you get the encounter details. So how does that all fit together?
Okay, with the maps, you can build them up in any app you like. We've got our own application which is coming at the end of the year, which will enable you to generate maps like what you can see. So if I just cancel that a minute, and I'll bring back out to the screen before, we'll save that. So this map here is created in our own map builder. There's our debug screen. And what that will allow you to do, it's completely 3D maps, and it's going to be awesome, absolutely awesome. And we've got a load
awesome
of
on the screen now.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
I can zoom in a bit.
Yeah.
So you can go. Well, that's the fighting pit.
Yeah.
Here's some tables and stuff up the top here. And this isn't even the highest of quality. This is because when I import them into UGM, I lower the quality depending on what you've got set in your settings. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you've got like a little table with some maps on here, some treasure chests kicking around in there, nice. Some beds here, some torches on the wall, and everything is dynamically lit as well, which is really good. So you can control things like whether, if you're outside, for instance, you can control things like the time of day. You can have things like if it does get dark, the torches can light up in your town, and then it's controlled by dynamic light. So it will automatically light the place up without you having to fiddle around and click loads of stuff. It'll all be controlled by your UGM control panel. Now, if you use other apps to build your maps, which I know a lot of people do, there's loads of like 2D map apps out there. One of the ones that we've used them in the past. It's very easy. You literally just go into edit mode, click on the map, and then you choose a map to bring in. And you can bring in any map you like, no matter what it is, any kind of format, and then it will appear on this screen here. And then what you do, you just build it up, depending on what your area is, which is really useful. And it's dead simple. You literally click on the book, you can add a new area, give it a name, bedroom, can't spell, bedroom, set the name, and then you click where it is. Yeah. And that's your bedroom, and that's how easy it is to set an area. And then it's all on your legend on the right hand side here, so you always know where you are. You can tell what everything is. So if you can't remember what number 3 is, you just click on the legend and out it pops, and you've got everything you need to know about it. And you can go as far down into this map builder as you want, really. So you can click on things and move it around if you want to, or you can just edit the detail of whatever one you want. Mark things like when I'm creating an area, I would mark things as in development, so I know I've not finished it yet. You've got different card types, so you can mark things as a mission or a quest, for instance. So they just work slightly differently. You change some of the titles, descriptions, and stats, and you can change the map label as well. You can call it bed if you like. So you can customize this as much as you like, but it's quite very easy, very quick to do. And then if you click on the bed now, we'll save that, and you've got this brand new empty area for you to populate with whatever you want. So that's kind of how that map screen holds together. But yeah, you can use any kind of map system you want. If you are a streamer and you like using things like Roll20 or anything like that, we have some on our streaming aspect of UGM. You've got overlays, and what you can do, you can use the Roll20 screen to overlay on your like OBS screen or something like that, and then that will all be overlaid with UGM automatically for you. So it saves you having to stick a whole load of scenes and stuff into OBS, and you can control it all from pretty much every part of it from UGM. So you would kind of create your OBS or XSplit scene, and you'd have your cameras coming in from Zoom or Discord or whatever, and then on top of the cameras, you just drop in a UGM stream, and just works. Everything is then overlaid over your cameras, and you've got live data as well as your Roll20 map kicking around in there as well. So you can play around with any kind of map integration as you like. Hopefully that answered your question. Who was it asked? Was it Navy Phoenix?
Navy Phoenix, yeah. Yes.
And his boss just called him out for a job.
Yes.
Yeah. Navy is based in Canada.
Brilliant.
He'll be turning up in a future game of ours, actually, as a guest player. So we're looking forward to having Steve join us. But he's with, part of the forces in Canada.
Brilliant. Yeah. So that's how the maps can all hold together, which is cool. What's that? Change the color scheme. Yes, every single thing is customizable. Absolutely everything, from the color of the text to the icons, absolutely everything. I did show this last time, but for instance, there's a sci-fi version of our app with there's the character sheet. There's another character sheet. What else we got?
Just noticed
one about streaming overlay.
I mean, I like that. I like all the picture frames. The Dragon's Fire has just been in chat again and saying, "Do you have dynamic lighting and hidden traps?" Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, we do. Yes. It's you can have anything hidden from people. You can have hidden traps. You can. We've even got. Because of how we're developing our map system. So after UGM has launched, that's our main focus at the moment, is getting UGM launched. And that is what we see today, which is absolutely everything to do with the player, all of the different game sets, integration, things like that. UGM 2. You've got all of the spectator and the streaming aspects, and you've got all of the games master stuff. So all the campaign builder, all this map system you're seeing here, all that is what we're concentrating on getting out the door at the moment, and that will enable you to run any game you like. You can run any game with that. Now, the next phase after that, which is what we're working towards around Christmas time, is when we will look at doing our map app. Now, that is it's in early days at the moment, but that's what we generate this stuff in. You can drop on. We've got pre-made traps and stuff for you to drop on, so they will animate on the screen, like flame traps go blast across the stream.
Yeah.
You've got, like I say, the dynamic lighting. But you don't need to go into any other app to run it. You would go into your normal UGM screen like you have here, and you would have controls here. So where you've got these ones here, you've also got one here somewhere, an ILMA event, which was an early name that we had, which was our interactive living maps application. And that, again, you just drop it on. You drop it on. You fill the stuff out. We could say trigger trap, boom. And then what that would do, as you're playing your area, boom, you would click on that and it will automatically trigger an ILMA event on your map. And that could then fire off flames or drop down a pit of doom or something. Or, I mean, you've already got your sound effects and stuff in here. So you would coincide that with, say, a sound effect of I don't know, a dragon, and we can have a dragon. That's where would sort of thing, a creature pack. Dragon spit, that'll do. So you could have that, which you're not going to hear now because my amp's off and this isn't connected to sound. But you would,
no, we can hear it.
Yeah, you can hear that. So you'd have the dragon, and then you trigger your trap, hit the dragon, and everyone's dead. You're TPK. Everyone goes home early.
There we go.
And it's game over. And you could all go outside and have a beer, have a barbecue.
I've done my job.
Yeah, it's
Off.
It's all game. But yes, that is how you would trigger anything like that. So, question again: what do you feel are the most useful functions of the encounters? Yes. Okay, so let's go back to the encounters, which is why we were here.
Well done, Dragonspy. We're just keeping us back on track.
Bring it back.
Thank you.
So let's go back in. Let's reset this one. Get rid of that. So we've reset that encounter. Let's add some stuff in that I think is really useful. So let's get rid of that. So first of all, we've got our Badger leader. Okay, the Badger leader we know is not going to come into the fight straight away. He's going to come in a bit later. So we're going to go in, and we're going to bring him in on round 3. And everything on there, we only want one of him because he's a big tough guy. So let's save that. Or let's do something there. Let's save him for round 3. Or round 3. No, we're going round 4, and then what we'll do, we'll bring in some other guys. So let's go for a gladiator again. We'll add another entry. And no, let's make an easy one. We wouldn't have 2 of them, would we? Let's bring in
an orc. Let's go
an orc.
A classic. We go orc. I mentioned Dragonborn earlier, and something that popped in my head, which I've never thought of before, but I think we have to do this. You know, a Dragonborn. We need Badgerborn.
The ultimate games master. Dragonborn.
Badgerborn.
Using the Badger dagger.
we have to create this somehow. Badgerborn.
Yeah. The ultimate games master. Yes. So anyway,
the Badgerbarian.
So we'll have the orc, and let's have a couple of these guys. So there'll be a couple of these. Let's make these tough orcs. So let's randomize their hit points a minute. And we will say they'll have between 30 and 50 hit points. Let's say they're a bit tough. But we'll bring these in on round 2. Okay, so we're going to have 2 of these. Both of them are going to be random hit points. So they're going to be tough, but they're not going to be the same. I'm going to save that. So there's 2 orcs. Now we'll bring in the cannon fodder. So now we'll bring in the goblins. So let's have some goblins, and we'll bring in, let's say we'll have 10 of these. Well, let's bring in a random quantity. So we're going to bring in between 8 and 15 goblins. These are going to be random, between 7 and 9 HP, but they're going to arrive straight away. So we've got 8 to 15 goblins, which will be generated when we start the encounter. And but they're all going to have between 7 and 9 HP. So let's save that. That's cool. Now, we won't bother with adding an NPC, or we won't bother adding anything random. So we'll come out of there. That's cool. Save that. Now, when this is the really some of the useful things that this encounter system can do for you. Now, this is very quick. You would have created this. If you're a good GM, you would have created it before the evening of your game, which some people don't. But you just literally, you get to this area, we got the big bad lair, boom, big bad lair, you finally entered the lair.
That is so cool.
But just on that, because everyone has different devices, so players are on their own devices from the player's screen. This is the DM screen. So when the DM pushes that button, they all see this kind of bum 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 epic moment as they enter this new scene. I absolutely fell in love. How simple text is, But look,
Yeah, it's
boom, how
powerful.
powerful it is. Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
But you can link that to the other effects as well, the sound effects, the lighting effects.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a purely selfish question because Dave made me sign up to this Kickstarter the other day. And it's the adaptable Kickstarter, and it comes with the LED strips. So if I was to hook that up to UGM and push that button, I would get flashing red lights and sirens and all this sort
Yeah.
of stuff going.
So
UGM,
that's
yeah.
UGM can do that as well, because you've got in here, you've got hardware RESTful URLs as well. So if you've got smart lighting, you can control your smart lighting from here. So if going on our little thing that we had earlier on, you enter this area, you get that big title sequence, you have a dragon going off, you would trigger a map element which would fire the flame across the room, and then you can also add in a change of lighting, and whoa, and there you go. So you can have your lighting dim down in your room as you enter this fighting pit. And really, that's the big thing that I wanted from creating the Ultimate Games Master. It was to completely immerse your players, and keep it fun for the GM as well, because those of you that are GMs or DMs, it can be stressful. Players don't necessarily go where you ever expect them to go, and it can be quite stressful. But having something like this, it enables you to not have to worry about so much. If they go a different way,
describe it as distract them with smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that. I mean, to quickly create an encounter, they might have gone somewhere and think, oh my goodness, where are they off to? Okay, what can happen there? They can do that. You might have had some other stuff planned on your map, but if they was to go off map completely, you could throw in an encounter off the fly very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've just started this big bad lair. We've done our scene transition, which going on what Dragon's Fire was asking. He said, what do players do? So on a player screen, they would have their character sheet. So I've not got another screen, but I'll just show you this one here. So let's load up Hognar, because he wants to die. So this is kind of your what a character would have on their, or a player would have on their screen. Excuse the light shining on it, but so they have everything they need in there. But we will go into the player aspects on another video, because there is so much stuff on there as well. But that little transition appears on their screen as well. It literally fades their character sheet out and bam, brings them into it. And also we've got the bad joke, which also everyone loves. So you've got the tumbleweed going across, which also goes right across their character sheet on a bad joke. Anyway, again, that's something for another day.
And when I first met Justin, that was the bit that sold it to me. We're like, yeah, this is really powerful stuff. And like, yeah, I'm not impressed really. And then he shows me this tumbleweed. I'm like, wow, man, I'm in. I'm so in.
Sign me up. Okay, so we've done the scene transition. We now click on the big bad. It's now generating that encounter in the background, doing all that random stuff. I'm going to auto roll for Hognar and Doug, and here is now our big generated encounter. So we've got all our goblins we had with our randomized hit points. So they are completely random between, I think it's 7 and 9 we chose, didn't we?
Yeah,
so some have 7, some have 8, some have 9. And if you notice, they've all been rolled initiative already based on what their initiative is. Now, Doug and Hognar rolled better this time. He didn't roll rubbish for a change. So Hognar's on a -1, so he must have rolled 19 for that. So that's pretty good for him. Now, the big thing to keep in mind here is the right-hand corner now. See, you've got a rival round. This is your reinforcements panel. So I know as a GM that Badger Leader is coming in round 4, and I've got 2 Orc kind of lieutenants coming in round 2. They don't know this at all. So you would carry on playing as you would, killing people. We'll kill off this goblin. So Doug's attacked this goblin. We've managed to kill him. He's rolled well, and he's dead. He's then deceased. And because we've got our setting of skip bad guys, it's going to jump over him. Boom. So it's going to jump over that one, and we go through the next one. Go to the next round. Send a new round to players. If I say yes to that, it brings up a nice screen on their character sheet to say we've started a new round. It's better start getting planning. And I now know that Orc 1 and Orc 2 have joined the reinforcement, have joined the fight, and they've rolled a 19 and a 15. So they've come into it. Now I can go down here. Here's my Orc 1. He's already there. I've got a Badger leader coming in round 4. So I know that they've got a bit of time. They've got they can do some more killing. So we kill off some more. Kill him off. He's dead. We'll kill off this Orc here. He didn't even get to have a go because they blasted him with something or other. So he's dead. And we carry on going down. New round again. See up the top there. We're now round 3. Turn 1 of round 3. And we carry on going. Do some more killing. And then finally...
I've got a question because you've thrown stuff in, picking up the settings menu. We can add NPCs, stuff like that.
Yep.
So, and because you're basically counting the number of rounds, counting the number of turns. If there was a spell effect that let's say Doug cast Bless, for example, which lasts for a number of rounds, is there some way of adding a marker into the round counter that would tick down if somebody was to cast a spell that had a time limit on it?
Yeah, it would work. It would work similarly to our timers. So if I just throw a timer in quickly, and you'll see how that works. So if they cast a spell that is some kind of timer, it would work in a similar way to this. You've got a round timer, or you've got a time timer. All of our timers run with what we've called time splicing. So if I have a timer we called Stench, for instance, and it's going to last for 1 minute, it's not continuous, it's a global one, so it'll just carry on going regardless. This Stench timer, let's just pretend that's something that someone's cast. So that would start, and it would just tick down. So we're in real time at the moment. We're talking, and they're doing their stuff. They're doing some role play, but in the background, there's a timer going, and this role play they're doing is in real time. Yeah. So as soon as they enter an encounter, it goes into time splice mode. So we go back into that encounter, we'll just rejoin it, and the time is now spliced. So here we can have a look on our time and timers, and you can see it's been spliced. Now, as we go down, time is now in 6 seconds increments, because that's how this game set is set. Yeah. And you get to the end of the round, it goes down by 6 seconds. Yeah. Okay. So it's all kept going as if it's real time, but because we've spliced the time into rounds, that's how this kind of works. And then as soon as the encounter is finished, we come out, it carries back on in real time. So it's a great way of keeping track of things like that, which is really useful. And you can have as many timers as you like for all different things, and they carry on going between different areas as well. So if I disappear off, that time is still going off in the background there, and that could just keep going until it runs out.
So it's incredibly powerful.
Steve, so he didn't just answer your question, he nuked that question from orbit. Okay, this is why I like the UGM so much. It's that everything is thought of. I mean, I was surprised I introduced that whole link thing, and then that was just a couple of days ago, and then boom, he's just gone. Yeah, you can answer it this way. I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. I just thought, link.
Yeah,
that's something. So you could have a timer off in a completely different area of the map. Something triggers, and depending on what time the party arrives at, then it's either in effect or they've arrived.
That's it.
Before or after.
And to give you an example, I actually had this on our game the other week. They entered an area with the big dragon. They've been looking for this for ages. Actually, I've not even told my lot this, but they get a little bit of an insight now for those that are listening. They entered this particular area. I'd started a timer, which was there was some trolls bashing down some columns that were holding this area up. So as soon as they entered that area, they knew about it. Wait, what? The timer started on that. And then, they might have been faffing around doing stuff elsewhere. but this was running. I knew this was running.
Yeah.
If I needed to pause it for any particular reason, I could have paused it. But that's what's so cool. So, and then when they finally got through to it, the pillars were already half kind of busted up by these trolls smashing it, trying to cave the whole place in. Now, one of them smashed one of the columns down, and then that will automatically double the speed of the other column disintegrating. So you can double up your timer as well.
Yeah.
So if things need speeding up or slowing down, you've got that functionality there as well, which is quite cool. And your players don't need to know this, or you could have it timing and counting up on their player sheet. So if there's something that you want to keep track of, you can count it up on their sheet. So yeah, that's how you would handle that kind of thing in an encounter.
Yeah, that is very, very cool.
Yeah, so we're back in our encounter. We're almost out of time. So you've got all these, you're killing staff left, right, and centre. And let's just say the rest of them do a runner, they run away. And you come out. And what it would do, if you've got it set to automatically calculate the XP, it will tell you. So this XP was automatically generated from, you killed the orc number 2, you killed goblin number 11, you killed goblin number 2. And in total, it's 200 XP. And you just click that and award it however you want to. You can either click on the total here and it will just distribute it, or you've got some extra kind of ways of distributing the XP by clicking on the left and giving it to whoever you want to, with XP, with no XP. You can do it however you want. So that's quite functional as well, which is quite good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so that's how you would award the XP after the encounter. And then bad guys loot, which was generated from the encounter. We have a little look at it. I've got a couple of coin drops, and look, there's our gold and there's our 2 platinum, which are ready to drop. So we don't want them. They're ones that I just added in.
I have a question about loot. Let's see if this is already done. So
okay.
you get your loot drop. There's
Yep.
6 items. You have 4 players.
Yep.
One of them is going to be greedy, but you kind of dish up. The ranger wants the bow, the paladin wants the holy symbol, or the godly sword.
Yep.
Can they, from their own device, can everyone see like the loot haul?
Yeah.
And then can they go, oh, can I have that?
They can do it either very politely like that and say, oh, I'll have that. Or they can go as fast as they possibly can and take what they want.
So that's the rogue. Does the rogue get initiative? Does the rogue get a head start on that?
It's kind of a fastest fingers first thing. I remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what would happen? You would get a screen that looks very similar like this. So if I click on the distribute now, I can say, okay, who's taking part in this loot drop? Because there might be someone that's not here. They might have gone wandering off elsewhere and not been a part of this. And
the rogue has already got the good stuff.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So I'm going to pick both of these to come in, and if I choose those, you get a screen like this. Now in GM mode, you don't get anything on the left, but if in the player screen, the left would be all their items that they've got on them at the moment. The campaign loot is everything that's to be looted, and then the transactions is what's happening at this moment in time. So if I take these, you can see the platinum's gone to the GM. Yeah. Obviously, if a player took that, it was saying here, Doug's taken 2 platinum and 10 gold. So I can, as a GM, I can see who's been greedy, but the players will only see what they've taken, which is quite fun sometimes, especially when there's a big loot drop and they're kind of, I want this. Sometimes they communicate nicely and they're, okay, you take that, we'll have that. And if they've got stuff in their own collection of stuff, they can move that into here as well. And then someone else can pick that up. So if they're getting heavily encumbered, they can drop, their 25 short swords that they've collected along the way, and then someone else can pick that up if they want, or just leave them there. So yeah, you can, it's all there. I think that is another area that we can touch on at a later time. Sure. When we've got the player module, so we can show what's happening, and all this is happening in real time. Yeah. So it's literally a fight for the loot.
I
If they
love
want to do
that.
it,
I just
though.
imagine like hungry hippos on an iPad. Like, oh, I like it.
I want that, I want
And you could do 50 gold pieces and just go like tap, and you get as many as gold, like one gold coin for every tap.
Yeah, you
just go
it's not in
mad.
a container. It's just one at a time.
Yeah, quick! Multiple fingers.
Yeah.
It's like you just come out of a fight with your character, go straight to real life one over the loot.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got all of that, and that was generated automatically for me. So the XP was created for me, the loot generated was created for me. The reason it had some of those random coin drops in there to start with is because what you can also do, which is another really neat little thing that UGM has. If I come out to the game set editor, and we'll go into the monsters, and I think the goblins might have something. Yeah, they all carry a very small coin drop, which is a randomized amount of loot, which you create in here. So you've got random loot as well, and a very small one, which is the goblin one, is if they roll a 1 to 3 on a d6, gives you nothing. 4 to 5, they get between 0 and 5 gold and 5 to 15 silver. Or a larger drop these goblins might have if you roll a 6 on it, between 5 and 10 gold and 10 to 20 silver. So these are all attached to the goblin. So every time you slay a goblin, they might drop something.
Yeah.
And that's automatically for you as well, which I mean, I like that idea because you often get attacked by, goblins with this and that, and they always carry, might carry a dagger, but you never always say, oh, there's 25 daggers in the room. You don't have to worry about that. You say, oh, this goblin always carries a dagger, and when you kill it, it's automatically dropped. So when they go to do their loot drop, their looting of the room, there'll be a load of daggers there as well. They could pick up, and it saves you as a GM having to think, okay, what's this going to have? What's this guy going to have? What's this one going to have? So as well as your treasure chest loot here, the actual bad guys could drop something in particular as well. And it makes it really customizable and just really efficient to use as a GM, because it just makes your life dead simple. And this was our encounter. The red ones are the ones that we self-generated, which was based on these 3 ones up here.
Yep.
So it's a badger leader, 2 orcs, and between 8 and 15 goblins. And this is this is the generated stuff.
Yep.
So we can go in and change that if we want to. So that is, again, it is just the tip of the iceberg of what is available in the encounter. Because if we go back into it, we talked about adding an NPC, we talked about adding a monster. You've got add party, so you might have NPCs that following you around. You can automatically add them to the encounter. So you might have a couple of guys that have been following you about and a part of your party but are NPCs. You can add them as a party and say, okay, just add them in, and then that'll automatically pop them in as well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So this is another monster question. Okay, so everything you've kind of got is, these stats are preloaded from, for example, D&D. Is it the SRD?
These ones are from the SRD,
Yeah.
and some of them are from our Rise of Tiamat campaign that I've been adding as we've gone from our books.
Yeah. So what if you have a mage, an evil bad guy mage?
Uh-huh.
Does it have like the starting spells pre-listed? Can you go in and shuffle them in advance if you're a GM like me who does loads of planning and prep beforehand? Or if you go, you know what, they're killing my goblins way too easy, I'm going to throw in a goblin shaman.
Yeah.
Just on the fly because I want to, because I can.
That's what you want to.
And they've already got some preloaded spells. Is that already in there?
Yeah, you can add. If we was to add a mage, just dump a mage in. You can arrive now. Just one of them. Where is he? There he is. So this mage comes with its starting kind of spells and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But these you can alter these depending on how powerful you want him to be. And if you're adding him in, you might want to say, okay, this is a goblin mage,
Yeah.
or whatever. So you know that when you get to save that, and this is kind of the stuff he has based on a mage, but these are the spells this one particular one has. If you've got like a big bad, you might want to add them as something a bit more interesting, in which case when you're creating it, you can create yourself a big bad mage in here. I mean, one of our demo campaigns, if I can find it, it's in our design. It's in here. One of the campaigns that we just put together as a demo, it has a NPC bad guy. So these are the bad guys in this particular campaign. Where is he? There he is, Lord Magrum, this guy here. So this NPC is bad. He's kind of the big bad of this little campaign. But yeah, you just add the magic you want. It works exactly like a character sheet would work. You want to give him a particular spell. You want to give him what level spell do you want to add? Whatever for this
third level spell.
And it would give you based on this
there
particular.
It is, fireball.
Yeah, there it is, fireball, everyone's favourite. We'll add the fireball in, and we'll prepare it.
Boom.
And there he is. There's your fireball. So if you now brung him into an encounter, he now has a fireball that you can use and cast as you would any other as an MP as a normal player would cast it. Yeah, it's very powerful. You've got for like NPCs you want to flesh out. You can bring them in as like an NPC here, and you can go to town with them. You know, as far as traits, features, and stuff like that as well. You can do all of that in here. Magic, give him whatever equipment you want.
I've been reading a new one of Beadle and Grimm's new documents, and in there they use a lot of customizable options. So you'll get, for example, in one of these are their custom made stories, there's a giant owl. So you can take the basic giant owl stat, but it's a zombie giant owl. So then you want to apply some extra bits, spoilers, sorry. But yeah, it's a nice way of doing that. So you can go in, take a basic model of the giant owl and go, right, okay, you have this many hit points, you can't be scared, and you want to eat brains. But at least you can do that in this. I love that idea. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you can go crazy by creating an entire, NPC character sheet for them, or you could just go in into your game set editor and go to your monsters and giant owl. You want to duplicate that. We'll duplicate that giant owl, and he is a
giant owl zombie.
Giant owl zombie. There he is. And you can, this is now a monster, not an NPC. So it's kind of similar, but it's got you got these different stats there. So you can nerf some of these languages or whatever you want to do with it. Change some of the actions. So you can add a new action and say, eat brains is the action.
Let me see. Okay, so so here's I've got it in front of me now. So they are giant owls, and the changes are they are now undead. They are not a giant monster. They are now undead as a type of beast. They have the undead fortitude ability. So if you hit it down to 0 hit points, you must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5. Otherwise, it can get back up again. And they are, of course, immune to poison because they are undead. Yeah.
So you can add all that kind of in. I've just made it a an undead, so he's undead.
Cool.
He's unaligned. He's now got an action of eat brains. I could add it as I can add some traits in. I can add some different senses in because he's a zombie. He might even have a spell, so we can say, okay, we'll create a custom spell for him, and we call it suck brains out spell. And this ray of brain removal. I don't know, whatever. And that is now one of the special spells that this one can do. You can change some legendary actions and add loot to it if you want. But that is now a part of this this data set. So now if I go into a campaign, we go into this Fallen Heroes campaign, and I will add that. We'll add it to. So this is another map that we created in a different way. This is just a very straightforward 2D map. I think this was done in just Photoshop.
Right.
So we're going to this last area. Oh, starts the music automatically. Let me just turn that down. Let's audio fade in. Let's give it a that. And we will add, there's an encounter down there somewhere. We'll just have one at the end. Battle music, and then we'll add in our encounter and put it there. And there's our owl. Add the monster in. The giant owl zombie, there he is. Close that off. So now we go into here, we've got our giant owl music. I will start our music because it's our big thing, but I will lower the. And so we start music, boom, battle music. We're going to roll our owl in. He rolled a 1. So we've now got our giant owl. And you see down here, he's got the stuff that we set up against him. Giant owl zombie is our monster. His talons, his actions are eat brains, yummy, and his spells are suck brains out, removal, ray, whatever. So you can add whatever you like in.
Fantastic.
Very easily, very quickly, without let's test that again. Boom, there we go. And yeah, there we go. That's kind of how you would build a very simple encounter. I say there was other bits that we didn't touch on. Oh god, it goes again. Let's stop that. See, I've got all these. I've got all these to come in whenever you go into an area. Just to got some dogs barking and stuff. But yeah, you've got. What was that? Yeah. So if we look at the encounter, got our giant zombie. He's been rolled for. But if we go into rejoin it. So the only other thing I didn't touch on was random list is just it will generate a random monster based on a list that you've created prior. So you might say, okay, when they get to this area, you might have a possibility of encountering. You roll a d8. If you roll 1 to 4, you get nothing. 5 to 6, you might get this. If you roll an 8, you get an aboleth, whatever. So that's a random list, but add other area is quite cool because what you can do, you can go, okay, they've made an absolute racket in this area and people have noticed from another encounter that you had set up elsewhere. So, okay, we can go another area. We'll pick, I'm trying to think which one has got anything in it. Maybe the fine houses? No. Guard house? Yeah. So in the guard house, there's some undead guards. There's 3 of those in there. So what you can do, you can generate an encounter and then add some of these to your current encounter, which is really useful. So you can bring people in from another area that without having to conjure up people that didn't exist beforehand. So these 3 guards were sat in their bunks. You've made a racket. They've then come through and you just add them in. So I've added 2 of them in. And they coming in. One's goes off again, but one's coming as a reinforcement, and the other one's coming as current. So yeah, it's pretty.
I absolutely love it.
Loads and loads of stuff there.
We are 20 minutes past the hour, so we're going to start wrapping up any minute. For those of you who are watching on live on Twitch, if you have any last questions before we go, better get them into chat now. We will wait 10 seconds and get them in. But Justin, again, you mentioned it briefly earlier. You are going to be back, so we're going to focus on some different areas on each video that we do.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I think it's what did we say? The end of August. Justin is actually going to GM us on a very little adventure where we will be. We're going to have the whole idea is to be able to use the overhead cams so you can see all the players using their various devices, interacting with a story that Justin can take us on a quick adventure for using this entire system. So that's at the end of August.
Yeah, and then what the plan was, we're going to probably spend the next little Q&A session building up the campaign that we're going to play at the end of August. So we're gonna actually build that campaign from scratch. We'll just throw in some graphics and stuff, and we'll build it exactly how you guys would be building it, and then we'll run it. At the end of August, we'll actually run that area live with all the players connected, all the fancy graphics going off, and you'll see how fun it can be to actually use. And we've got a giveaway.
We've got a giveaway. I have another question. We mentioned dynamic lighting.
Yes.
So say we're playing digitally, connected like we are. Would that only appear in your room? If I had LEDs, smart lights set up here, can my device talk? Can you trigger a device in each player's room if they had them?
Yeah, most smart homes come with each smart piece of software comes with an API call.
Yep.
And what that would do, you would tie it into. I mean, there's loads of ways you can do it. You can do it like with if then else, whatever that thing is, or you could do it by direct control from a URL. So your lighting would be controlled by a particular URL, and you would program that into UGM and do as a chain. So all your players that have got digital lighting, you can then go, okay, boom. And then when you enter that area, everyone's lighting can in their different areas,
in their different rooms, in their own little homes. I was just thinking because like in the ceiling light, I have a bulb. What is it? Is it Philips Hue?
Philips Hue, yeah, but that's what I've got.
You know, you go into a lava cave, and suddenly you can make the room red.
Yeah.
Or we're playing sci-fi, and the red alarm goes off.
Trigger red alert. Yeah.
Does that mean you can also tie into people's smart speakers?
I would have thought so. I mean, if you, I mean,
just give them access to your home, Steve.
Yeah, I think because the beauty of UGM is an app. It's developed as an app as opposed to a web interface, because a lot of systems use a web interface, so that you got masses of restrictions you automatically have. UGM has none of that, so we can. If there's an API for doing anything particular, we can access it. And if there's anything that, stuff, there's going to be stuff out there that we've never heard of that people say, oh, I wish it could do this. Like, I see you've got a fan behind you. Mm-hmm. If you enter a cold place, I could probably switch your fan on. You can go as crazy as you like. Or if you're in like you've got a D&D cave under your house, a basement, like what's his name?
Joe Magnelia.
Yeah. Gygax's cave, yeah. And you could make that completely and utterly controllable from within UGM. So without leaving the software, you'll be able to control the sound, be able to control the lighting, you'll be able to control your digital 3D map with dynamic lighting in your map, with dynamic traps in your map, as well as controlling your characters, everything. And that doesn't even have to be connected to the internet. So if you are downstairs and you've got just, you might just have a router just sat there and just use it. And you communicate, all talks to each other, and you've got every single thing there to immerse your characters, immerse your players in what they're doing, and you can go as crazy as you want with it.
I'm just amazed. I really am. I mean, you know, any TV companies out there, just like D&D Live, for example. We've just had D&D Live. Just imagine that the DMs could be sitting there controlling the studio lighting and the fan machines, the sound.
Yeah.
Oh, come.
So there's another another thing that I really never touched on because it's very niche, but there's a producer panel for it as well, which enables you to, a bit like the spectator mode, you would connect to it using, you know, any old tablet you've got kicking about, and it turns into a producer controlled thing. So whatever area your GM goes into, any actionable stuff will appear as big buttons on your producer panel. So you'd have your lighting controls in there, you'd have your sound controls on there, but it won't have things like your encounters, your text and things like that. So it'll only have stuff on there that as a producer they would be using. So your GM would create whatever music they would have in there, and they do all this prior to starting the game, sound effects, track triggers, stuff like that. And then you have a producer there with his hat on, being all cool, and he can just produce the show, literally from his panel, which is connected to the game as well.
It's just like so. Joe Magnelio, if you've been watching this, if you've got this far, just get on Kickstarter, and back them, because they could use your help as well. So get on board, and then give me a call, get in touch, play some games. We'll
that'd be cool. But we'll all play some games. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, the thing that we're asking people is, please spread the word. We're only a small company, but we've got a massive product, and being a small company, to spread the word is really difficult. So
it is.
If any of you can tweet, retweet again, tell your friends, tell your mum and dad, tell anyone, any famous people tell them.
Yep.
And we'll
get them on board.
Because this stuff is. I've got a whole pad full of additional things I want to add into UGM at a later date. Some people think, wow, this does so much stuff already, but there's so much more.
That answers our outstanding question. We have a question, I think it was from Dragon's Fire. Is there anything else you're planning on developing? Well, you'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
So
I mean the big thing is the maps, the map system that's coming later on in the year, because that is the only aspect that we've not put into UGM, because it doesn't need it at the moment, because you can play Theatre of the Mind, you can use Roll20, you can use the 2D maps or any other kind of maps you want to just import in and use, like we've got on the screen here. I use an overhead camera on mine to for my counters and stuff. That's how I run with it at the moment.
Yeah.
But that is the big thing that's coming next. Is the maps will be completely integrated, and it's going to be awesome. Sort of got a couple of screenshots I can quickly throw up. So there's one of them. That's a tavern that we created, and these are just some of the bases and stuff that we've been looking at and working on. But these are all part of our new map system that we're working, and it's going to be awesome. And it's and the last thing I just want to say is, with our map system that we're creating, because it's 3D, if you put it into perspective of different layers, because you're not confined to a 2D map, you can go downstairs, you can go upstairs, you can go into up towers and show that you're going up towers. And then if you think of it in space, you've got complete freedom of movement of your ship, up, down, left, right, forward, back. So you bring a completely new dynamic to your game.
Yeah, different strategy.
Yeah, which you would not have if you run a 2D map. So you can attack from.
Yes, Steve's always annoying me by flying. Or turning into a dragon and then flying.
I just remember back to Homeworld. So we used to
Ah,
play
yeah,
strategy games, right?
Homeworld.
yeah,
And
love that.
Homeworld was just the game changer because all of a sudden you could just switch it around into whatever view you wanted and just follow that one scout ship as it flew, across the galaxy. And that was a big change for me, in computer gaming a long time ago, whatever that was, 20 years ago now, I guess.
See,
Or even longer.
and you remember how good that Homeworld was, and now
Yeah.
today we can do exactly the same thing, but in VR. You can now sit in that cockpit
In the cockpit,
and
Yeah.
play Eve VR
Yeah.
and do exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
But that's what you don't have with virtual tabletop. Virtual tabletop is still top down, having the ISO view.
See,
just
with our 3D system, you've got VR automatically in it,
Right.
and you've got AR automatically in it.
oh,
So you create a map. It depends if you want to sit there with the headset on. I mean, some people think that's a bit daft, but or if you've got AR, so you've got a device, point it at your table.
Oh my god! I just had another idea. Sorry.
Your map is there. You know, all that stuff. I mean, I was did a lot of work on VR and AR years ago for different companies when it was in its infancy, and yeah, it's got all that stuff. I've already done the work for long ago, and I can just bring it straight into our new map system.
I was just thinking that with all the ambience music you've got plugged in there, you can literally put your Oculus on, sit here, I can have my beer, I can put my feet up, and I can be in the tavern.
and a straw.
And a straw. Meeting the other player characters as they come into the tavern and do that whole. So you meet in a tavern. We'll be there all night.
Yeah,
That's it.
Just sit there.
We'll just sit there. Right, boys.
There's a Charles Stross novel where using AR, it maps your character's image over your face in real time. So if you look at people through your device, you're actually looking at their character because image maps over their face.
Oh man, bit like what's that? Is it Star Trek? Is it the one where they all sit on the Enterprise or something? They've all got the VR and they all sit in their stations.
Oh yeah, we've played that. Yeah.
Yeah, what's that? I forgot the name of that. What's that called?
Bridge Crew or something.
That's it. Bridge Crew. Yeah, Bridge Crew, Bridge Command or something. Yeah, it'd be like that, but sat in a tavern.
Yeah. It'll be great.
Dave sat at that side of the table. You'll have Steve over there. I'll be here. Stuart would be at the bar, probably.
We can play a game of like cards as well. You put your gold coins in the middle of the table. Picking up your VR.
Lots of possibilities, yeah. But that, because it's a 3D world, it's there. If people want that. And I know some of the people you've done stuff with before, worked with, doing stuff with VR and AR. Yeah. It's a great technology. It's got to be used in the right way, because it can be cumbersome, but if used correctly, it can enhance the game. But
absolutely superb. Right, we are now over an hour and a half. We are going to be wrapping it up there because we have plenty. We can just talk for hours. I mean, seriously, the software's that good, but we're in the same time zone. I've had at least one beer. And we're just talking about D&D and fantasy role-playing games, and it's amazing. I can definitely talk like this for hours. But Justin will be back. However, please point out the links are in live chat. The Kickstarter will launch next Tuesday. That's Tuesday, the 27th of July. So please keep an eye on it. Tell us quickly about the Kickstarter. And here we go again. We're going to start talking in another 10, 15 minutes. Right.
We're also being yelled at to not forget about the giveaway.
It's in don't worry, Pete. It's in my mind.
I'll just mention that so we don't forget it.
Kickstarter,
yes. Kickstarter. Is there any early birds? Is there any bonuses for getting in early? Okay. Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, I mean, one of the early birds is 10 quid off the year. Okay. So as opposed to doing it, because our normal subscription system is monthly, obviously, but if you get in early, you get 12 months for a stupidly low price for 25 quid. Cool. And then if you miss out on the early bird, it's still stupidly low price at 35 quid. So there's a lot of stuff there. And as I said before, players are free. We don't charge for players. Players are completely free of charge.
Can we just make sure that I did hear that right? So it's £35 for a yearly subscription.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right.
Which is really low, really low.
That
So
is really low.
that's why you want to get in on the Kickstarter. Our normal prices are £5 and £7.50 per month. So you get in early, you're getting a real good deal.
Yeah. You
And then obviously there's some other ones that we're still tweaking prices and stuff, but there's some lifetime licenses there, which they're a bit more expensive because as you can see that there's still going to be development going into this, and it's just going to be getting better and better and better. So the lifetime licenses, they're going to cost a little bit more, but if you've got a table that play regularly, just your players, just all chip in, buy a license, because you only need one. You only needed the license for your GM, and that's it. You've then got that for life, including any kind of updates we do to Ultimate Games Master. You got it all. So yeah, and like I say, our normal subscription tiers are £5 a month for the Games Master stuff, but if you want the smart lighting, music, or the total immersion stuff, that's £7.50 a month. So it's still really affordable, considering it's only the GM that needs to pay. So if you meet regularly, your players only need to put in a couple of quid a month or whatever, and you'd probably buy more, spend more on snacks and food than that. So, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're doing the subscription system is because there's so much more we're continually adding. There's, like I say, my book is chock-a-block full of really, really cool stuff that I'm not saying anything. But that is all to come, and that's what it's paying for. As well as I said last time, the service. When you do play online, like you can play as a LAN in your local home, but if you want to play online using our service, they cost a lot of money. So that's another thing that pays for, and that's something that we wanted to make sure is rock solid. So we're using AWS servers, Amazon servers, so they're that we've had an uptime of 3 years now, not had any downtime, and so it's really good. So that's kind of, as well as other stuff in Kickstarter, Steve. We've got some coins, some dice. What else have we got? I don't know. Coins, dice. We're doing some character.
There is dice bags, leather dice bags.
Yeah, exclusive dice bags, exclusive to the Kickstarter. We're doing some leather dragon scale red. I think they're red. Dice bags, and some also some cases in that as well for tablet. So nice. Main for doing the tablet ones was for like stores, so they could have if you have a regular game, you might have like 5 tablets in one case, and it's all in a really nice leather dragon scale kind of case, looking cool. So you don't just rock up with it in your bag. So it's all good stuff. So shall we do a giveaway?
Yes. Do you know what the giveaway is?
I think we can do we'll do a 6-month subscription for our total immersion package. So that's everything. Absolutely everything.
Would you like to pick? So out of the questions we've had this evening, which question do you think was the best?
I would say
that person
Dragon's Fire, without a doubt, because they asked so many questions, it was unbelievable.
Well done, Dragon's Fire. You just won 6 months subscription. We will be playing with you when we can. I will be signing up to the Kickstarter on Tuesday. I want that early bird.
Yeah.
You might be signing up twice then, because I'm in the office.
Fair enough. I can do that for you. You are in the office as well next week, aren't you?
I am in the
office. You have
office
to do it on your phone.
Yes.
You can do it on your phone, Steve.
I don't get reception because we're next to the airport.
How long is the early bird? Is it 24 hours?
It's a number.
Oh, okay.
So it's I can't remember how many exactly, but it's the first many.
Limited number.
So so if you get in early, the limited number.
All right, Steve, I'll buy it. That's all right.
Will run out.
Right, we're going to leave it there. We haven't picked up. Yes, we have picked up. Dragon's Fire. Jeez. Right, Dragon's Fire. We'll be in touch. We know who you are, Dragonsfire. Where is she? Denmark, Norway. One of those.
It's Norway.
Yeah. What time is the launch? It is 4 p.m.
It's 4
UK.
p.m. BST. Yeah. So British summertime, 4 p.m. Norway.
There we go. Okay. Thank you much, Dragonsfire. And although we didn't get an on-screen alert, Dragonsfire actually bought a Band of Badgers mug. So thank you very much, Dragonsfire. Right. Justin will be back at a future date. Keep an eye on our schedules for more updates and bits and pieces. And this video will be up on YouTube tomorrow. Please, to everyone who's watching, please share it. Get the word out there before next Tuesday. And if you happen to see this after Tuesday, the 27th of July, 2021, still like it, still subscribe, and check out whatever the UGM is up to, wherever time zone you're in. 6 months in the future, 6 years in the future, who knows?
Subscribe. It'd be awesome. 6 years in the future, it'd be taking over the world. You know.
Let's hope so. We'll be having like our own. Well, I would say you'll be having your own like tablets by then. You just buy the Ultimate Games Master tablet for all your players. Everything will be custom done.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, that is one of the. Well, it's not a custom tablet, but it's one of the pledges is a preloaded tablet ready to go with a lovely dragon scale case.
I love that idea. I might actually have to do that. We'll wait and see. I'll have to see how much. I'll ask the boss and see how much money I can spend.
You'll be breaking your Apple pledge.
Yeah. Well, my boy's not going to college yet. He'll go a few years. We'll see what we can do. Right. Until next time, we will see you again soon, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.